Hello and welcome to Network. My name is Spumelele Zondi, and now tonight we'll tell you about jobs that could be replaced by robots. We also wonder if you know what your kids are watching online. Our discussion is with a journalist who will tell us about how severe the use of social media is in the newsrooms, and sometimes it's used as the only source of news. We'll also find out what actress Brenda Ngoli's favorite piece of technology is. Find us on SABC Network. That's on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. It's News Network at sabc.co.za and email. Let's start with your social media and technology news. Now, a lot of us have access to the internet, either via smartphones or computers. This has opened access to a variety of content that is easily accessible, even by children under the permissible age. As parents, do we know what our kids are consuming?
Do you know what your kids are watching online? How often do you monitor what your child is watching?
I don't control what she watches because at the varsity, she stays in house at the varsity. It's a 3-year course, and she's got all the facilities there, so I wouldn't know what she's searching for.
Meet 11-year-old Lesego Mojapele and his 11-year-old brother Tato from Johannesburg. They have unlimited access to the internet and can watch and play anything online.
Once I get home, I would normally go on YouTube, see latest people who posted news things on YouTube, or just search something random but try not to love videos.
I watch YouTube like stars, video gamers and vloggers, and like people that react to videos and food. And I watch vloggers because one day I want to become like them. It's easy to vlog. You have to vlog your daily life, edit it online, post it on the video, and you get $1. You get one on YouTube. You get paid $1 per 1,000 views.
However, according to counseling psychologist Jeremy Bayer, there are dangers to the internet that parents need to be careful about.
You have to have simple rules with them, and you have to sit with them on the internet together when you first start. So explain the rules to them, when they can use it, when they can't use it. A strong emphasis on once you've written something, it's there forever. Encourage respect. So, for example, stamping out cyberbullying. Because if you're going to stamp out bullying, you must stamp out cyberbullying. Another thing to say is, if you're not going to do something face-to-face in person, why would you do it online? So it's the same ethos, the same mentality. To encourage, to start teaching it from a young age, to have a nice safe password and keep the password to yourself, obviously. But most importantly for parents, to educate them along the way and constantly, check up, not be controlling, but check up and agree what they can and what they can't look into.
Some of the teenagers we spoke to say their parents don't have an idea of what they watch online.
I usually log into YouTube and I Google lyrics, I love songs.
I usually log on YouTube, try to catch up with my favorite top Mbango.
I'm all about fashion and I want to know about the latest trends and who's wearing what and who's putting on makeup and how they're putting it on. That's usually what I go online to do.
As much as technology is an important tool, it's very important for parents to ensure that it doesn't harm their children.
Do you ever wonder what the future with robots looks like? Do you ever imagine flying cars and a robot cleaner tending to your every single need? Are you worried that you don't have skills that will survive in a world where robots will be taking over some jobs? Our producer, Boitume Lukasa, tells us about an expected high-tech future.
Technology has, over the past decade or so, made our lives a bit easier. We have gadgets to help us communicate better, drive safer cars, and carry less cash. However, some of those we spoke to are worried that technology might pose a threat to human resources in the workplace.
I honestly thinking, I think sure, robots are going to take over like people's jobs. If you look at car manufacturing companies, they already have like robots who do like certain parts.
Do I think robots will take over and take the occupations? Yes, I think so. Reason being is that technology is evolving.
I think that it might even, like increase the crime rate. Yeah, because, less jobs means like more poor people.
There will be less jobs if technology develops a bit more. And if people don't actually develop themselves into forwarding themselves by learning and getting a proper education by learning about technology, then obviously we will fall back.
According to an article written by an American strategist, Shirley Palmer, some jobs will be taken over by robots or machines. Those will include middle management, data science, journalism, and accounting. Medicine was also mentioned in an article. However, Dr. Khosi Letlape, President of Health Professions Council of South Africa, HPCSA, says they are always embracing technology and are using robots as enablers and not as human replacements.
There's differential access to healthcare. Even at this point, when we talk about robotic surgery in South Africa, only a minority of the population can afford it. So there are issues of cost. These things come at cost. And people should not forget that once you have all these issues, in many countries, those treatments are not available to the ordinary people. If you go even into many common diseases, there are fancy treatments that are not generally available. So the issue of robots, it will be an issue of access. So there will always be a need for medical students. There will always be a need for conventional treatment because it will be most accessible and most affordable.
Dr. Letlape also says their mandate as regulators is to ensure that there is accountability.
We ensure that the professions are fit for purpose. So that will not change. So we will have to devise means of testing that robot as to whether it is competent to deliver what is expected of it or what it promises to deliver, and hold it accountable. So the key issue is going to be, is the robot responsible or is the robot an enabler? We will then devise the appropriate regulatory mechanism to ensure that we protect the public and we guide the profession. If the profession has become robotic, we will have to evolve our regulatory mechanism to regulate the robot out there.
Despite all the technological advances that we have at this point, there are still humans at the back end to ensure that everything runs smoothly. The trick is for humans to constantly upgrade their skills so that they aren't left behind in the age of technology.
We've been telling you about African countries that block the internet. We've heard how businesses there suffer when there's no internet. So we decided to find out how internet access would hinder a business here in South Africa.
I run a boutique called EarthNet, amazing boutique as you can see. And we used technology for sorts of things. Our website is technology driven, WhatsApp, Facebook. So we do use it for the everyday run of the business. Our accounting system is actually based on the cloud. So every day all our accounting goes through to the cloud, and we need internet for that. So yeah, our technology is very important for the efficiency of the business and for us to reach out to clients constantly. Technology has made such a huge difference to how we liaise with our clients. As I said, WhatsApp, Facebook, and nobody phones these days, to be honest. Everybody uses either the WhatsApp, Twitter, or social media generally. So I don't think it would actually work if we didn't have the internet. It would be quite a difficult, businesses, particularly small businesses, because we don't have big budgets to marketing. Social media is our lifeblood, so it would be quite tough, to be honest.
South Africa's DJ Black Coffee uses Instagram to announce American charts entry. Samsung launches a new flagship phone. These are some of the top tech stories that made headlines. SpaceX, owned by South African-born Elon Musk, successfully launched the SES-10 communication satellite to Earth orbit using a two-stage Falcon 9 rocket, whose first stage already had one space flight under its belt. Musk says the mission demonstrates the type of technology that could help make Mars settlement economically feasible.
Our aspiration will be 0 hardware changes, reflight in 24 hours. The only thing that changes is we reload propellant. We might get there towards the end of this year, but I think if not this year, I'm confident we'll get there next year.
South Africa's DJ Black Coffee used Instagram to share news of his first entry to the American Billboard charts. The Umlazi-born DJ debuted at number 45 for his collaboration with Canadian rapper Drake. Their song is called Get It Together. You can now write a few more characters on Twitter. The social network says the handle of the person the tweet is intended for won't count towards the character numbers as it did before. Samsung revealed its new flagship device, the Galaxy S8. The stakes are high after the battery explosions of the Galaxy Note 7 last year.
Samsung had a lot to prove based on what happened with the Note 7. And I actually don't know how they pulled it off. Now, we'll have to see the price of the phone, we'll have to see how many they can ship and how consumers respond. But I feel like if they can bring this phone out, it's all behind them.
Samsung has also said they will be selling refurbished Galaxy Note 7s.
Technology is replacing labor, and that capital deepening heralds a very difficult situation going forward for jobs.
You know, the thing I see is a growing, vibrant democracy, which is something that we didn't have before. And that strengthens outcomes forcefully.
With various studies still being conducted into the competitiveness of data prices in the country, instituting policies to regulate the sector is still a long way off.
Often, politicians will want central banks to do things that are short-term expedient, but long-term dangerous for the economy.
Stay tuned to News Today from 3 to 5:30 p.m. here on SABC News.
It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Now, the issue of fake news has come under the spotlight lately. Some have been complaining about journalists who use social media as the only source for their stories. Many newsmakers, however, reveal important information on social media. So in this internet age, journalists are left with a predicament of whether to use it or not. With that, we've seen some publications write completely false stories because they relied only on social media as a source. To tell us his experiences about Twitter in the newsroom is Sowetan Live journalist Khothatso Madisa. Hello and welcome to, and thank you for being a part of our network.
Thank you for having me.
Now, starting with whether you have ever faced this predicament of being asked to use Twitter to look for stories.
I have, but I don't use Twitter as my sole source. Twitter is, social media in general is a source and not the source. I mean, it's inevitable that, and it has always been inevitable that we're going to have to be in this situation where everything basically happens on social media. Just that we haven't really been able to manage it properly because journalists have come to only rely on Twitter as the sole source, and that's not journalism.
As a journalist, do you know of any cases where people got it wrong because they only relied on social media?
A couple of times, actually. For instance, not so long ago, a rapper named AKA tweeted that him and his girlfriend broke up. Media houses ran with it, only to find out that he was playing a prank on them. Recently, DJs who said that he signed a deal with a big, big sponsor, only to find out that it wasn't. So instead of just, you're supposed to use Twitter as a reference, and then you pick up the phone and confirm and call the person who tweeted to confirm and get other sources as well.
Would you say then that Twitter and social media and other forms of social media are posing a threat to the profession of journalism as a result of this, your profession?
Absolutely, because the fact that things happen so fast on social media. You basically you tweet, and the story is out there. You don't the thing of having a what you call an exclusive is almost dying, if you can say that, because things get tweeted all the time, and that exclusivity of journalism and a story gets lost in the way. So it is posing a threat.
The examples you mentioned, entertainment examples, you mentioned the DJ Smooth story, you mentioned the AKA story. Does it only happen with entertainment reporters?
Mostly because with politics and news, journalists there tend to take the profession a bit more serious, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, but they tend to pick up the phone. They tend to.
Not a fan of entertainment journalists, are you? And when it comes to this information ending up in the public domain, who actually is to blame here? Would it be the news organization itself? Would it be the editors? Would it be the reporters?
I would say the reporter and the news editor. I mean, as a news editor, if a journalist comes to you with a story, and you can see that this story doesn't cover all facets and doesn't have enough sources, and you still take that story to the paper, or you take it to your website. I mean, as an editor, you're supposed to be someone who holds the line because of your experience. I mean, you're in that position for a reason. I mean, if someone comes with a story that only has one source, and that source is social media, as an editor, you are to blame. You are to blame.
Have you ever seen it happening in the newsroom, where a reporter would be told to go on social media to pretty much publish everything they've seen on social media without verifying?
I haven't seen it personally, but I know people who have. I have friends that have in the industry that have told me that they're not even enjoying their jobs because they're being told that they need to watch social media all the time. I mean, they've been told, you no longer, as a journalist, they're telling me that, as journalists, they're telling me that they are forced to stay on social media and look for stories. I mean, that kills it. It's killing the whole journalism.
In the age of immediacy, one would think that if a story is already out there and you miss it as a news organization, then you are then lagging behind from everybody else. Maybe that's why people would then go ahead and publish these stories.
I hear that, but would you rather report an inaccurate story just so that you have to have it, or would you rather be late and cover yourself as a journalist and media organization? I believe the latter is more important, because you need to, being first is in journalism is important, but I'd rather be second or second to last while having an accurate story.
How should social media then be treated in this particular age that we're living in, the age of fast news, immediacy, 140 characters?
Look, I believe that as media, as the media, we need to come up with reporting code that is central around social media. I mean, every organization has a way that they report on stories. I believe that we need to come up with a code specifically for social media that guides journalists on how to report, keeping in mind social media. I think that's how we need to tackle this.
All right, Kgothatso Madisa, reporter with Sowetan Live, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Mr.
All right, now actress Brenda Ngoli told us what her favorite piece of technology is. Let's take a look.
The president sikafanele ne and izenza kahle gqithi such. Come and call it April.
Hi, my name is Brenda Ngoli, and I'm your next presenter. No, I'm lying. I'm just here to tell you what my favorite gadget is, or technological gadget actually. It's my juicer. Yeah, not my blender, my juicer. Juice, baby. Juice, 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 and more what? Juice.
Then you feel ladies into about single. So, wasenjani ke wena phethe wambona wena ehamba nomfazi? Tu. Xa engenamfazi ecaleni kwakhe ithetha loo nto noba usingle and ngowethu. Yemimi. Khawutsho wethu uzawuba ne-chance.
It is the SABC network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Now, United Arab Emirates retailer Souk.com has been bought by America's Amazon. Some say it could be the biggest such deal in the Middle East. Those involved say it will open Souk customers to goods that they didn't previously have access to.
I mean, that was really, for us, it's just an easy decision. Amazon is a great fit with us. We have a lot of common values, and it is, all about innovation, technology, and the type of customer experience and thinking that Amazon has. These are some of the values that we've embarked on in the journey, and just to think of the possibility of growth we can with the investments and the technological capability and the customer centricity of Amazon, what type of growth we would achieve in the next phase. I mean, with the capabilities we will get, we feel e-commerce will grow tremendously. It is already growing at a double-digit rates, but we will see accelerated growth. Our merchants will have access to better technology and access to maybe local and global markets. Our customers will have access to global supply that is already on the Amazon platform. So a huge opportunity for the region.
Now to work with Souk so that we have a local service and local currency with fast delivery and greater selection for customers in the region is really exciting. And it's the beginning of this journey together. Our constant mantra is to grow selection, to improve pricing, to improve our service level. Souk runs their business just the same way, and now we're just going to work hard on what that means for customers in the Emirates, in Saudi, in Egypt. The first thing we're going to try to do is listen to the team here and understand what customers need, and then if there's a technology, if there's a capability, if we have expertise elsewhere in the world based on what we've grown in other regions, we're going to bring it here and support the team as best we can.
After reports that Samsung could sell refurbished Note 7s, this week our Twitter poll is asking whether you would buy this phone. Now, 52% of respondents say no, they wouldn't buy it, and 31% say yes, they would buy it. There's 17% that say they actually don't know if they would buy a refurbished Note 7. And that's all we have for you. Find us on SABC Network. That's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's News Network at SABC.co.za and email. We leave you with visuals of speedway racing in Koltakov in Russia. It's bikes on ice from me and the rest of the team. Have a good one. It's bye-bye.